Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the sixth in our series of JN Bank Redesigning Your 2020 Goals chats. I am Ryan Parks, Chief of Business Banking at JN Bank, and I'm joined by Miss Tanya Richards Davis, and she's the Financial Controller of Sanmerna Paper Products. Welcome, Tanya.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me. And how are you today?
We're good. We're actually good. It's our pleasure to
Okay,
have you.
great.
Okay, so on this episode, Tanya, we'll be having a conversation about safeguarding your business during this period of uncertainty due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before we go into the matter at hand, I'm going to ask if you could just spend a few minutes to speak to us about Sanmerna Paper Products.
Thank you again, Ryan. Sanmerna Paper Products Ltd is a manufacturing organization that was founded in 2003 by two brothers,
Yeah.
Robert White, who is the managing director, and Mark White, who is our technical director.
Okay.
We manufacture products, paper products such as tissues and towels, napkins, and medical rolls, bed rolls. Those are the products when you go into a hospital or to a doctor and you have to lay down on the bed and they have to pull up that thing. Yeah, that is called a medical roll. One of
Understand.
our major tissue line is Sophie, and I'm just gonna show the viewers Sophie.
Yeah.
So when you actually go into a supermarket or wholesale and you see this Sophie, you know it is manufactured by Sanmerna Paper Products Limited. Right?
Right here in
This is
the name.
also our Sophie and towel.
Perfect. So, so
And
those are
later on,
your products.
those are two of our flagship products.
Okay, great.
And there's a reason why I show you these two later on and let you know.
Right.
Continuing, our clientele base include large wholesalers, supermarkets, and
Right.
institutional end users, distributors. Institutional end users, Ryan, are considered as BPO,
Yeah.
hotels,
Yeah.
school, airport, etc.
Understand.
We currently employ over 105 employees,
Wow.
and we only use virgin paper to manufacture our products. That's a bit about Sanmerna in a nutshell.
Understand. Thank you so much. And confirm for me, all of your products are manufactured here in Jamaica, locally manufactured.
Yes, Brian.
Okay.
Locally manufactured.
Understand. Well, congrats. Now,
Thank you.
as you would be aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted a number of businesses in an adverse manner. Can you
Yes.
walk us through, Tanya, how it is that you have been able to navigate your business throughout this challenging period that we have now become accustomed to as the COVID-19 challenge?
Brian, indeed, it is a challenge that we all are faced with.
Yes.
However, one of the things to point out, Ryan, is that I mentioned institutional end users.
Yes.
And I said that those are the hotels. And we're all aware that our hotel sector, tourism sector was affected significantly.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Borders were closed, tourism couldn't tourists couldn't come to the island. So our anticipated sale, the revenue that would have expected to come from that section of the organization
Mhm.
came to a zero.
Understand.
So here we are, this challenge has caused this crisis on our institutional end users.
Yes.
But Ryan, one of the things is that when there's a challenge, when there's a risk, when there's threats, there's always an opportunity.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
so the question you asked, we were able to do that by
Mhm.
realigning and capitalizing on the opportunity that this challenge presented.
Understand.
Even though the hotels and school were closed because stay home make us safe. We
Understand.
realized that by people staying home, Ryan, that there's
Mhm.
an increase for a domestic product, which are
Under,
the tissue and towels. And
Okay.
that's why I tell them I'm gonna bring these back in.
Understand. Fair enough. Fair enough. And
So
that
these
that.
were the products that
Mhm.
increased based on the demand of the
Look.
housewives.
Mhm.
Everybody would have stayed home, and the office would have been
And
reduced because of social distancing requirement of the
yeah,
government. So there's an increase. So we capitalized on that increase, right? You were saying something?
definitely. So what I hear you saying, Tanya, is that the increase from the domestic source was able to offset whatever fallout from the other areas of the business.
It was not 100%, but yes, it saved us.
Okay, understand. And I also hear you saying that you would have had to realign your business model once you recognize there would have been a fallout, particularly from the hotel sector.
Yes, yes, Ryan.
In exactly, indeed. In fact, it's something when we advise our business clients in terms of business advisory services, we encourage them that one of the ways in which you can navigate through this particular crisis is how you realign or reposition your business model to be able to target those areas that there is an increase in demand and less focus on the areas to which you would have had a fallout. So I'm
Yes.
particularly pleased that this is something you have already done in your business.
Thank you, Ryan.
Indeed, indeed. Now, one of the other areas that I would love for you to speak to us on is given whatever challenges you would have had, how has the business responded to be able to cope with some of those challenges? Is it that you would have had to lay off staff? Is it that you would have had to shelve any capital plans, capital programs to spend, any capex expenditure that you would have had to shelve? Can you just walk us through how you have responded to be able to really navigate through some of those other challenges?
Ryan, we were very, very happy that fortunately we were we did not lay off any staff. What happened is because of the requirement of the government, we had to operate with the social distancing. And so that would have altered our capacity to produce because we wouldn't have enough staff working at the same time because we couldn't
Under,
function with our full capacity. But it
under,
wasn't because we had a financial business that we had to lay them off. So we were very happy about that.
mhm.
In that time, we worked along with, I remember the government would have said to see if they can exercise vacation days or and don't just send them home like that. So we did not. We gave them the option to use vacation days who wanted to use their vacation days during that time to ensure that we were in line with the requirement of the government re social distancing.
Understand.
We would we we were able we're still able to operate because once you strategic planning is the key, Ryan. And once you see something happening based on your strategic planning that you have done, you'll be in a position to quickly realize. So what we did as a management team is to ensure that we stayed in contact with our suppliers. Because remember our suppliers are stakeholders and we
Understand.
would have foreseen what is coming based
Yeah,
on the government Ministry of Health instruction and the government briefing every Tuesday. We
yeah,
paid very kind attention to it and what's happening in the world.
yeah.
And so as a result, we were able to speak to our suppliers and say, hey, we're in this together. How can you work? Some of them come up with extended time. For example, if you used to pay in X time, okay,
Yeah.
we go to X time to ensure that we are buying our raw material and they're also getting paid.
Agreed. It's amazing you say that because similar to how your suppliers have responded to the needs of the business, we too at JN Bank has responded given the impact this has had on several businesses. And one of the things I must point out is that during this particular challenging time, businesses can look to us just like you as one of our their clients to be able to approach us for moratorium on your principal payments, on your loan obligations. We are willing to look at up to even 12 months of that payment holiday to give you that cushion as you navigate throughout this particular challenging period. We're also willing to extend the maturity dates of your existing facility as well. And finally, in your particular case, Tanya, where you would have had an uptick in certain sale of products, we're willing to support you by giving you additional credit financing in the form of working capital solution to be able to drive that particular aspect of the business. Because you're right, in every crisis, there's an opportunity. Unfortunately for you, that opportunity lies in selling more tissue and paper towel products.
Okay, Ryan. Um, so Ryan, I am happy that we are both on the same page in terms of understanding what was needed to be done to navigate and to realign.
Yes.
And one of the things is that it's very key, as you said, to engage with your banking partner, and that's what I'm hearing coming from you. It's key to ensure that we are keeping our obligation with banking partners, whomever they are, and ensure that we to work as a team so both of us can be
Absolutely,
beneficial.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Because it's a relationship of trust you're developing between a banker and a client. And one of the first ingredients towards that trust is transparency. So we need to know,
Yeah.
especially from small businesses, your records. It's very important for us to know the business. And once we have something documented that speaks to us about the financial performance of the business, more often than not, we're able to lend support.
Okay.
Great. As we about to close, Tanya, I would love for you to explain to us what word of advice you would have for small business on a whole who have to endure a similar challenge, who has been impacted by this global pandemic. What words of advice would you offer to those businesses, especially at this time?
One, stay close to your bank. That is important. Stay close to your bank. Two, it's not a shame. It's not something that a debt warrant. So therefore don't feel ashamed, okay, I'm going through financial struggle. No, don't feel like that. Don't hide away from your financial obligation. Even though you may not be in a position to meet it now, meet
Mhm.
with your banker, explain what's happening and see how you can arrive at a plan that is benefit for both.
Right.
Additionally, ensure that you are working closely with a budget.
Mhm.
Try and go below target or at target, but do not exceed. You have to ensure that you work closely with your budget plan. Also, ensure no matter if you're small, know do your environmental scanning, know where you position in the market. Always take advantages of your strengths and your opportunity, which are known as your SO strategies. Always
Yeah.
pay attention to those. Yeah?
Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Excellent words of advice to small businesses. I find, Tanya, that a lot of the members of that particular industry, the SME sector, are not as formal as you'd perhaps want them to. And I'm sure a number of them listening on this afternoon would benefit from those words of advice. So I want to thank you so much for having taken the time. So we have come to the end of this evening's discussion. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be back with you next week on Thursday, July 2, when we'll be discussing another interesting topic. So, Tanya, thanks again, and congratulations to you and the team there at Sanmerna Paper Products.
Brian, thank you so much for having Sanmerna Paper Products with you this evening. And remember to our viewers, Buy Jamaica, we build Jamaica. Do not forget to purchase your Sophie tissues.
Indeed. Thank you so much. All the very best.
All the very best, Ryan.